Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. How's everybody doing? Good evening to all. It is a pleasure to be with you guys on tonight. It is Thursday, 30th of May. The time over here in the city of Mexico from my hotel room, it is 8:40 in the night, 8:40 in the evening. A lot of things are going on. I wanted to inform you guys what's going on and why am I here in Mexico City. It is important for everybody to understand that the incoming elections of Mexico, they're extremely important for the United States of America in terms to what is going to happen with border security, what is going to happen with combating the organized crime, who is the next political candidate that is going to take over, basically the country of Mexico, who's going to be directing the country of Mexico, and ultimately for a lot of the people to understand how do Mexicans feel that for the first time a woman is going to be president. We have been asking this question, doing these investigations and doing the ground to ground investigations of Mexicans. How do they feel? Because they have this kind of a machismo. We have this kind of an area of machismo over here that has been going on for years, but we don't. Practically, I don't have no opinion on that, of who is going to run for president, if it is a woman or a man. But it is a cultural thing, so a lot of the things it is extremely important to ask. Other things that I need to point out, it is that the Mexican president deployed more than 27,000 army soldiers, armed soldiers, and also military soldiers and National Guard soldiers. And a lot of people do not understand why he did that. And I did a report, regarding this issue with Boss Media, that is a network that I'm also collaborating with. They're from the United States of America. They're a conservative, also network, really impartial network, and ultimately a central network. But I've been working with them ultimately, and one of the things that it was the report. It is why the Mexican president deployed more than 27,000 armed soldiers and National Guard soldiers to protect the elections on Sunday, on Sunday, June 2nd. This is kind of our video that we took from the elections on the closed campaign, the closing campaign of the political candidate Claudia Sheinbaum. That she is from the leftist political party of Morena, that is the political party of Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, that is actually the president right now, current president. This is our drone footage of this video. We took this drone footage, and ultimately, this is the how it looked, the rally that the closing rally of her, possible, closing election, campaign. Well, let me explain to you guys why this is so important for me to mention. Why he deployed more than 27,000 armed soldiers and ultimately National Guard soldiers around the country of Mexico to protect the elections and to have a peaceful election. He did this because there has been more than 20 elected candidates for senator, for Congress, for whatever, that they have been assassinated in our country of Mexico. Corruptibly, they have been assassinated, and injustice has been happening to all these people. And ultimately, it is tied to the organized crime and the cartel. So, practically, what he wants is to have an election that is transparent, and then the people can have peace to go and vote on Sunday. That's one. That's one of the options to mention. The other option is for people to just forget about the 20, the 20 candidates for some political position in the country of Mexico have been assassinated, and ultimately to forget about that and forget about that. There's nothing going on, that everything is going well, that the country is doing phenomenally on security. That is horrible what the country has become in terms to security. It is an actual fact that in the first 4 years of Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador as a president, more than 160,000 homicides occurred. This is our video from the Zocalo, from the main heart of the governmental plaza. That building that you see back there, it is the governmental plaza. It is the government palace. But this is to mention more than 160,000 homicides have been occurring in the first 4 years of Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Of course, a fanatic that is a communist, that is a leftist, is going to say those statistics are wrong. Of course, they're going to say that because they don't want the reality. They don't want the truth to be told. But that is the truth to be told. And not only that, but also on the year 2023, 7 cities, they were on the top 10 for violence, delinquents, and homicides due to cartel activity and insecurity in the world. Those 7 cities were straight from 1 to 7 from Mexico. This happened under the administration of Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. So before I move on to other topics, before I move to the Trump trial that just ended, before I move on to another topic, I want to talk about the elections in Mexico. Why it's so important that we talk about these elections in Mexico. First and foremost, what is going to happen? This political candidate that is the favorite one to win, that is from the political party of Morena, she has addressed the immigration issue as a secondary factor. Why is this? Because we have so many problems in our country. A lot of Americans do not understand that Mexico has so many problems, that migration is not a number one problem. Migration, it hasn't become that amount of a problem to the United States as it is for Mexico, because migration goes the majority into the United States of America. So it hasn't become a problem into our country. What it has become a problem, it is the organized crime, the cartel, the trafficking of fentanyl, the violence, the insecurity, the full on appropriation of land by the cartel into the farmlands, into the homeless, into the farmers. The abuse of authority, the corruption is continuing in our country of Mexico, and it hasn't cleaned out in 6 years. Of course, it's not going to be all the 80 years of bad government that has been before. It is not going to be clean in 6 years. We understand that, but of course, if this president Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador was coming into office, the first thing that we want is a change. If he was going to create a change, and the only thing that he does it is he panders, and he ultimately blames the conservatives. And it is not a fight against the conservatives. It is a war for him against the conservatives. He hates the conservatives. As a matter of fact, this political candidate, Claudia Sheinbaum, before she spoke on this particular day, there was the political candidate for governor for the state of Mexico, and she spoke, and the first thing that came out of her mouth on this rally was, "This is a war against the conservatives, and we are going to win this war against the conservatives. It is because of them that we have this infestation and problem in our country." This is the ideology that is being spread all over these people. And it is not because of bad politics. It's not because of bad leaders. It is not because of a bad reputation of every single politician, right wing, left wing. For them, it is about the conservatives. So the thing about this is that one of the most important things to point out for people to understand, it is first and foremost, we're going to have, for the first time in history, a woman president in our country of Mexico. That is going to be completely a full change, because Mexico is categorized as a country that has been led by men, and this is the first time that it's going to be led by a woman. I don't have no problem with that, but in a lot of the people, does not sit well. They don't think that it can be possibly handled, and be handled correctly. In case of bilateral relations, let's per se that in the United States of America, Donald Trump becomes president against the United States, and how is that going to work when you have a person that has a really strong character in terms of having an international relation? How is that going to work? Buy me a coffee, first and foremost. Buy me a coffee is right there. Pin in the chat. Somebody bought me a coffee. It's anonymous. Thank you so much. Uh, Buy me a coffee. I'm traveling, people. I need your support. So buy me a coffee is right there. Pin in the chat. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for the support. We're here in the city of Mexico. Tomorrow we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of groundwork to do. Tomorrow we'll be live in America's Voice, possibly at the War Room. So be on the lookout. I'll be alive in the War Room with another topic that I'm about to show you. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Second thing that I wanted to talk about, it is how she plans to combat the organized crime. And the strategy of hugs, no bullets has not worked in our country of Mexico. As a matter of fact, has aggravated the situation even worse. And it's why I think that this political candidate, their security policies that are not going to work, because she said on this rally she had 18 points to talk about. She talked about all the 18 points. I was listening closely, and one of the points that she talked about was the security factor. As she was talking about the security factor, I said, "Oh my God, we're going to go, here we go again." She said, we are going to continue with the strategy of the president of Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador to have continuous meetings still, to have continuous meetings like the Obrador is having, and to be consistently having these morning conferences to explain to the people what is going on. I don't know if they don't understand, but this strategy has not worked. As a matter of fact, the cartel has increased, and the level of assassinations right now in the state of Baja California, cities like Tijuana, has gotten really bad. And for people to do not understand, we live in a country where for to be a journalist and to exercise your right, as the Constitution says in Article 6 and 7 of the Constitution, to free of speech, it is horribly being addressed right now, and we don't have no freedom of speech. It is the country that has more assassinations towards journalists in the world in terms to homicides with cartel activity because of the exposure of corruption, bad politicians, and mishandling of money. That has come to an aggravation of how many assassinations have occurred unjustly in our country of Mexico. Sadly, this political candidate, I don't agree with this point that she said that she's going to continue with the strategy of Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador on the hugs, no bullets. This hugs, no bullets ideology has not worked. It is not going to work. And ultimately, it has not become the result that it has become. But for a lot of the followers of Claudia Sheinbaum, they say that it's completely the opposite. They said that the country has become a country of peace, that the country has become a great country that is transforming into this fourth cuarta transformación. That's how they call it, the fourth transformation. And they try to continue with this fourth transformation. And ultimately, she's the favorite to win on Sunday. She has a lot of favoritism. A lot of the people believe in her on every single issue. And this is the only thing that it's completely sad is if they're going to continue with this strategy that has failed. Let's see who comes as the next president of the United States of America and how that bilateral relationship it is going to work. That international bilateral relationship, how is that going to work? Because we know that, the current president of the United States of America Joe Biden has a horrible strategy on security. We are seeing what is happening at the border. We are seeing that it's, the country of the United States of America has an infestation of fentanyl, massive distribution of fentanyl. Also, there has been a study that the cartel is already operating on 50 states in the United States of America. There's no strategy by the letter organizations inside of the United States of America to combat the distribution and to lower down the demand of fentanyl and drug abuse inside of the country. And there's no strategy to combat on the other side to work in a bilateral relationship with the country of Mexico to see how they can decrease this and how can they stop this. This is the Biden administration currently. Let's see how it works if, let's say, Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America. And if he becomes president, a lot of things are going to change. First and foremost, the business of migrants, it is going to end. And why I say this, because the first thing that he's going to do, and that's the first thing that he did when he became president, he said, I'm getting out of the global compact on migration because that doesn't settle with our immigration laws and with our country, how immigration has worked through the years. So he's going to pull out of that, which means that every NGO that is profiting out of federal funds and out of the United Nations, they are out. So the United Nations is not going to have the control of your borders. NGOs are not going to have that power anymore. Ultimately, he's going to continue with the security of the border, and he's going to implement more reinforcements at the border to combat the organized crime. He's going to start prosecuting every coyote, every trafficker massively so they can learn a lesson. And ultimately, he plans to do a mass deportation. I don't know how he's going to do that. And after that, let's see how the country, his neighbor country, the country that I live in, the country that I was born, Mexico, how Mexico is going to rely, how he is going to respond to say, what the hell is going on over here? And the way that it responded last time, it was, hey, you're not decreasing the level of mass trafficking, the level of mass migration through the country, through the borders. If you don't control this, Obrador, I'm going to tariff you 5% on the avocado industry, beer, and automobile industry. And let me tell you, that threat of a tariff did not settle anyone close or anyone nicely to all these international investors and all these international companies like Mazda, like Chevrolet, like Ford, like all these massive monsters, all these corporations that they have a lot of power, and they create so much jobs. It didn't settle well because he was going to basically, you don't want to piss off the middle class guy. That middle class guy, the guy that comes out of his house 7 o'clock in the morning, comes back home at 8 o'clock at night, provides for the family, provides money, provides a good economy for local corporations. You're going to piss that guy off, and you don't want that because that's the tax paying money. So they try to settle that. That was a strategy to lower, and ultimately it affected the pockets of the international investors, the most important things, the most important people. And they also pushed the president over the door to say, hey, man, you're going to hit me in the pocket. That's not fair. We need to do something about it. So, how is this important? And why I came down here? Because I came down here to cover the elections that they're on Sunday. And ultimately, after covering this elections, to give you guys a clarity of why the president over the door is deploying more than 27,000 armed soldiers in the whole country, is because it has become a catastrophe. More than 20 elected, more than 20 uh, political candidates that they were running on different parts of the country, they were assassinated by the cartel and the organized crime or by corruption. It has become such an insecure country to run as a politician also, and to run as a politician that is on the opposition, and to run as a politician that's trying to control the organized crime and provide security for their country. It has become uncontrollable. So this is why he has deployed more than 27,000 people. And the thing that I want to address, I was live with Grant Stinchfield on Real America's Voice News, and he asked me about this. And I believe that this is a topic that I need to address. He asked me about, Oscar, how are the elections being done in Mexico? What do you do in Mexico for the elections? How is the election day in Mexico? It is so simple, I told him. All that the Democrats pander, or the progressive mercenary activists in the United States of America, that they pander and they say that it's racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, white supremacist, and all this terminology and language barrier defense, all of that, it is simple and it's being done in Mexico. How do you do it? So on Sunday, the polls open at 8 o'clock at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they close at 6 o'clock in the evening. So what do? You go and get your local ID, your ID. You need a voter ID. And what is it's not specifically a voter ID. It's an ID that you get, an identification that you get when you're 18 years old, you become an adult. And that ID, it says your name, it says your address, it says, your birth certificate. It says every information about yourself. With that voter ID, practically is saying that you were born in Mexico and you're a Mexican national. That gives you eligibility to have the freedom to go and vote. Under the Constitution, you need to be Mexican to have the right to vote for an elected governor, an elected senator, an elected congressman, elected mayor, whatever it is. Somebody bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. It's another anonymous. Thank you so much. And buy me a coffee is right there, pinned in the chat. Thank you so much for your support. We need your support, people. I'm over here, in Mexico City, so I need your support. So you need a voter ID. I told Grant, you need a voter ID first and foremost. A thing that the Democrats and the liberals in the United States of America say that is racist, over here, you need that first and foremost to vote. Second of all, it is so simple. You go in the voting pool, you have a paper ballot, you have a specific pen and pencil, or some kind of crayon to circle or to put an X to whatever you want to vote or neglect your vote. You vote your paper ballot, you put it on the box. And on the box, it says box for governor, box for mayor, box for this, box for that, and box for president. You put the paper ballot in there. It's done. That's about it. You don't need more. It's simple as that. And then you count the ballots, and it is done. You have a counting machine that counts the ballots, the paper ballots. It is so simple. And a lot of the Democrats and the liberals say, Oscar, but what happens with the people that they are at work? They don't have they have the right to go and vote in Mexico. If you're working at a pharmacy, let's say, or you're working at a corporation that has a 6 to 8, hours of job, the boss has you have the right to ask your boss, hey, I want to go and vote. So I will be, and the boss will tell you, okay, where's your address? And this is my address. Okay, you go over there and then you come back to work. That's about it. It's so simple. I said to Grant, it's so simple. We started laughing because it's so simple. And Grant Stinchfield said, "Hey, we need to learn a thing from Mexico on elections of how voting is being done and how voting works and has worked before." Now, there has been a lot of corruption back in the day. There has been corruption on how they manage the paper ballots and all this kind of stuff because there's corruption. Every single country now, you cannot say that there's no corruption. In the United States of America, you cannot say that there's no corruption. It's a matter of fact, I have said this numerous times. How much are your corrupted, your elected officials in the borders, how much are different of corrupt than the ones that are in Mexico? They're not much different because look at what's happening to your borders. It's extremely catastrophic, really, what is happening at your borders. At the same time, touching another topic, at the same time that I was covering the elections, I got here when I got here. I think I got here on a Monday. I got here on a Monday or a Tuesday. I think I got here on a Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I think I got here on Wednesday. I went and covered the Central Plaza where I was showing you right now this video. And this happened. And there's a large explanation of why am I putting this video on? This happened in the city of Mexico. This was happening in the city of Mexico. This is a video that we borrowed, and the information was sent to me by my manager, which I appreciate this information. I would like to say a pause right here. I would like to say happy birthday to Miss Jerry Nosey. Thank you so much, Miss Jerry. You have been an angel in my life, and I would like to say publicly that you are an angel in my life and an angel in everybody's lives. And I'm so happy that you are going to be with us for long as a time. So happy birthday to you. We love you so much, and we appreciate you so much with a big so much. And this big heart to you. We love you so much, Miss Jerry. God bless you. So this is one of the most important things that I wanted to point out. So this happened. Let me put this video on. So people do not understand what's going on over here, Oscar. What's this? This is the Israel embassy in Mexico City. And you cannot believe how radical and how destructive it became. The Israel embassy in Mexico City was attacked by progressive mercenary activists. That they attacked the Israel embassy and that it almost penetrated and destroyed the Israel embassy. This was radical. And what I want to investigate, if these people were actually Mexican and these radical progressive activists were actually Mexican, because a lot of these people that they're protesting, and you have a lot of infiltrated progressive mercenary activists that they're from Antifa, from the United States of America. It has happened before. You have seen Antifa progressively growing in Mexico. So this happened. They started attacking the Israel embassy in Mexico City. And this is a complete infiltration, an attack. And the local police try to protect the Israel embassy with shields. Isn't that unbelievable? When these people were throwing rocks, were consistently attacking the authorities. It's unbelievable what was happening. Clearly, it was unbelievable. And this actually was occurring at the same time that I was covering the election, at the same time. So this came late, and I was like, what the hell? I did not know this? But look at the ironical thing about this. So not too long ago, there was a criminal in Ecuador. This criminal was a political vice president, apparently, or a political politician that served under the past president of Ecuador. And he was accused, and also they found him guilty of money laundering. And ultimately, not only that, he was in cahoots with the cartel. So immediately, the current president of Ecuador tried, to go and arrest him and bring him into justice. So, what does this politician do? He went to the Mexican embassy and he asked for refugee, knowing that the Mexican president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, has been protecting all these leftist progressive politicians. Evo Morales was one of them that he protected from the Bolivia authorities, and ultimately now this. And also he has protected other Cubans that they have exiled, and that they're really leftist, and other politicians that they're corrupt. So the Ecuador president demanded the police and send authorities into enter the Mexican embassy, violating international law because that was wrong. The Ecuador president infiltrated the Mexican embassy without permission. They entered violating every international law and ultimately extracted the criminal from the inside of the embassy, arrested the criminal and pulled him out. Basically, they completely stepped on the international agreements with sovereign nations. So that was done. Then later on, the Mexican president demanded a public apology from the Ecuador president. They went all the way up to international human rights, international agreements, international rights of every international organization. It was a big thing that happened. It exploded. Why is this not categorized as an infiltration into the Israel embassy? Why the Mexican president is not talking about this? And it is happening on his own backyard. Isn't it crazy? The hatred through Israel, it is unbelievable. It is massive and it's unbelievable. Ultimately, what is happening over there, it's unfair. War is bad. And the only way to find it is peace. People to stop dying on both sides of the country and to find justice and peace for the children that they have died unfairly. That is a reality. We cannot lie about that. But this is the sad thing about it. That meanwhile you're defending that they infiltrated your embassy. They extracted a criminal. The Ecuador authorities extracted a criminal that in violating every international law, that you have the right to say, hey, you cannot enter the Mexican embassy like that. But on your own land, the progressive mercenary activists, they wanted to destroy the Israel embassy, and you're not even talking about that. How ironical is this? How crazy is this? Isn't it unbelievable? So this was happening at the meantime that the elections were happening, and the political candidate from the left political party Morena was having a rally, and ultimately there were people before there one day before, and and rallying over there in the governmental plaza. This was happening at the same time that I was there trying to broadcast and trying to see what's going on. I was like, what the hell, man? This was happening. So they were trying to destroy the embassy of Israel, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's saying anything about it. The president is not saying anything about it. This is huge because you're trying to destroy an Israel embassy under the situation right now of war. It's unbelievable. And the sad thing about it is that we don't even know who is under these activists, if these activists are actually Mexican or who they are in reality. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are live from Mexico City from my hotel room. Buy me a coffee. It is right there. People, I completely appreciate your support. We need your support. So to continue, I'm over here, out in the south of the country, trying to bring you guys a reality and truth of the news. Much needed your support. This happened today, and a lot of the people are completely upset. A lot of Americans are upset. And a lot of Americans are happy that they're from the left, and a lot of Americans they're from the right. They're completely upset, and also the independents and the libertarians, they're also upset because they say that this is a weaponized justice system and election interference. And this happened today. Trump was found guilty convicted of, I think, 34 counts. All 34 counts, he was found guilty. A lot of people are upset. And, this looks and it sounds and it feels. And a lot of the people that they come from communist countries, if you put this scenario on their heads without saying Republican, without saying Democrat, they will say, this happened in our country. This happened in our country. Remember, the Iranian dictator, the butcher, murdered more than 8,000 political prisoners. There's more than 15,000 political prisoners in Venezuela that they are against the communist dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro. This right here, people, it is a communist move. And I'm not a Trumper. I'm not, oh my God, he's an orange man bad. Stop with your stupidity. What is happening right here. Before the elections, before November, it is election interference. It's just obvious. As a foreigner to the country of the United States of America, this is whoever defends what is happening here, it is because either he's a communist, he loves to be a commie, and in all these communists, this is the most incredible thing about it. They say that they're academia, that you don't even know about communism, but they don't even live in a communist country. They haven't even lived one day in the communist country, but they talk about communism and they criticize capitalism and they crucify capitalism. This is Marxist strategy. It is communism. It is bad. This is a political persecution against a political candidate that is running for president of the United States of America. Now, for all you communists, I don't know if you have, and historically, let me just tell you, historically, president leftist, progressive, president leftist from Colombia was a mercenary activist for Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, and he won the election. Lula was incarcerated, came out, and won the election. Andrés Manuel López Obrador was accused of having relations with the cartel, money laundering with the cartel, and he won the election. You're persecuting a man under 34 counts. You're trying to imprison a man that is running against the Marxists and the communists. Guess what? It's going to happen. Just painting a scenario, comparing what has happened before with leftist political candidates and now a right-wing political candidate. What do you think is going to happen? That's my opinion. I'm not saying what is going to happen. I leave it to you and to your comments. Or what do you believe that is going to happen? Is this is injustice? Is this is unfair? This is that? Other than all the justifications to find an argument to talk about this, I think that the most important thing, besides that, and in addition to, the 34 counts and all this kind of stuff, what I can say is that the aftermath of what's going to happen, it's going to be the pinnacle of changing history. This is election interference. Simple as that. And what it's going to cost is a massive rising of people united to find justice. That's what I believe. That is what I believe. Other than the Robert De Niro scandal, Robert De Niro coming out, having a complete meltdown, being called all names by his Italian American friends. Other than the Robert De Niro, complete meltdown in front of the press, Democrats using a Hollywood actor to defend them because they don't have nothing else anymore. Really, they don't have nothing else anymore. And I don't know how this candidate from the Democrats, the Joe Biden, the actual president, how is he going to debate a man like this? I'm just saying, when you come out of this, you come 2 times stronger. When you were being accused, when you're incarcerated, you come out 2 times stronger. As a centrist individual, I can tell you that this in case in this in in order to be something that it was going to affect him, everybody believes, and also leftist Democrats have said that this is going to progressively be something positive for his campaign for him to win the next election. That is it. That's more than it. And this is the actual credible situation right now. A lot of Americans are pissed off that this happened right now. And, the leftists and the Democrats are completely progressive, and the progressives and the communists and the Marxists, they're happy as hell. They're like celebrating, and they think that, they won the World Cup and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, I don't know if, I don't know if this is going to be something positive for them, because every time, even comedian The Rock has said, if you imprison this man, he's going to come out like Tupac. And he's going to sell like Tupac. He came out of prison. He sold millions and millions of copies. And he became 3 times much famous, 3 times more successful. Then later on, he got into some problems. And that's what happened. But talking about the collateral effect of trying to affect a man and trying to put him in prison unjustly, that's the situation in terms of that. I'm not going to get into too much of a detail because, I'm non-partisan on this political parties. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a Mexican citizen. And you know what? The only thing that I can tell you is that this, instead of being something that is going to affect this campaign, I believe that is going to be completely the opposite. Completely the opposite. I believe that it's going to create more of people coming and saying, "Hey, man, what you're doing over there has happened to me before, and it's unfair. Hey, man, what you have done over there, I believe that it's unfair. Hey, there's no access to, the United States of America. It is transforming into this Marxist communist regime on all levels. Freedom, one of the first things, and exercising your freedom to speak, second thing, and exercising your freedom to be, third thing. And a lot of people do not understand that imperialistically, the left has become imperialist, and it is their way. And if it's not their way, you will become what? You will become a conspiracy theorist, creating hysteria, a fear monger, a white supremacist, a white imperialist, a xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronophobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, and bigot. And ultimately, this is a reality. This is a weapon to be used. There's a strategy, and the leftist strategy is perfectly done, because if you're not part of their movement, and if you're not part of them, you will become a traitor. That is the first language that they use. Oh, the Oscar Blue, the traitor against his own people. How am I against my own people? I live over here in Mexico. I don't stand with your communist crap. I don't stand with your socialist BS. I walked with people that are running away from communism through the jungle 4 times, walked 11 caravans with people that are running away from the communist regime. What the hell you're talking about? I've seen Chinese migrants exiting their country. I don't even know how and where, because of Xi Jinping. I've seen it. And you're telling me that this is not a Marxist move? You have to be kidding me. That means that you, the communists, have not even read the Communist Manifesto, how it works. The first thing to rule And to be a socialist, you have to have the power of the state. Becoming the power of the state, you will have control of everything. Say hello to a communist. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, man. And because you don't agree with these kind of people, they will insult you. They don't know how to dialogue. They don't know how to talk. They will call you a traitor. They will call you an imperialist. They will call you a white supremacist, bootlicker of the Americans, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pornophobic, conspiracy theorist, white supremacist, pre-Palestine, from the river to the sea. What is the other one? Zionist. They will call you that. All the names. If you don't agree with them, look, this is a clear example of what I just told you. Because I'm brown, I'm Mexican, and I don't agree with your communist BS and crap, I need to agree with you. And if I don't agree with you, I will be insulted. I just saw a video, and I wish that I can put that video on screen. Is this man carrying a banner that it says, I don't know if you guys seen that, but it's viral. It's all over the place. And he's carrying a banner that says, abortion is murder, something like that. And there's this liberal woman with her daughter coming in front of this man and saying that, I don't know, premature abortion. I don't even know what the word she used. It is not abortion. It is a right, and la this. And he said, no, let me educate you. It is not even that. Let me try to educate you. And she goes off. She assaults the man, throws some kind of beverage into his face. The man slips to his left, and then she throws a punch to his face. That is the only dialogue with these liberals. There's no sit down, let me talk. There's no sit down, let me just dialogue. There's no sit down, let me understand. No, there's not. Because if you don't agree with them, you will be here prosecuted, convicted. They will use the justice system. They will imperialistically. If you don't agree with the Marxist system, they will prosecute you. And they will do whatever it takes. And they will insult you like this. Boy, you're such a dumb. Because you don't understand. You're not academia. You're not academia. You don't understand what communism is. That's not communism. Look at China. It's one of the powerful countries in the world. It's unbelievable. When you block all their responses, I wish that I can talk to a communist and say, like, I will sit down and talk to you, man. I can sit down and talk to you. I can sit down and talk to you, but let me just sit down and talk to you. And when we're sitting down and talking, let me just sit down and talk to you. You cannot use these words. And you tell me if we can have a dialogue. Because we're going to have a dialogue like human beings, not with your strategy. So you cannot say I'm a conspiracy theorist, creating hysteria, fearmonger, white supremacist, white imperialist, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pornophobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, Zionist, creating violence, and free Palestine. Don't use that. Can you do it? Can you do it? And absolutely, they will laugh. They will laugh when you call them a Marxist. You don't even know, man. You're not educated. How crazy is that? And this is, oh, look at this comment. Oh, yeah, absolutely. What about Marxist, Black Lives Matter? What have they said? They are Marxist. Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio. Didn't they say that they want a socialist capitalist movement? Bernie Sanders? What country do you live? What world do you live? God bless you, man. Thank you so much for joining in. Oscar Blue right here, live from Mexico City, in my country of Mexico. Exercising my Article 6 and 7 of the Constitution, that is freedom of broadcast to whatever network, if it is radio, internet, TV, whatever it is. It's a constitutional right. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you. Buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned on the chat. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, it is right there. I'm going to be tomorrow working hard from early in the morning. Saludos a la gente de Chiapas. Saludos, saludos, saludos a Gala Ramírez. Saludos a toda mi gente hermosa de Chiapas. ¿Cómo no? ¿Qué parte de Chiapas? No me dices, nomás dices que manden saludos a Chiapas, pero no me dices qué parte de Chiapas. Dime qué parte. God bless you all. I will listen to your comments. Buy me a coffee is right there. Completely appreciate your support. And ultimately complete your support, and I appreciate your support. People actually take seriously political theory, dude. Fox News is not a credible source. Also, it is not a credible source. MSNBC, CBS, ABC, Democracy Now, The Daily Beast, Al Jazeera, CNN, and what else do you want? Those are not credible sources. Those are tabloids. That's what I believe. Prayers and blessings. Thank you so much, Belinda Edhart. Thank you so much. Elizabeth Solomonson. God bless you and everyone on this live. Thank you so much. Thank you. Pijijiapan, ve nada más. Wow. Pijijiapan, allá anduve yo en Pijijiapan con una caravana. Caminamos hasta Pijijiapan. Pijijiapan es un lugar calientísimo, es tierra caliente, Pijijiapan. Tienen un parque ustedes muy bonito. El parque de Pijijiapan está muy bonito. Alva Rodriguez, take care, everyone. Dan, thanks, Oscar Blue. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, whatever you want to ask, right here. People donated a couple of coffees, so I want to say to those people, those two anonymous, thank you so much for your support. Uri Road, no hay peor ciego que el no quiere ver. Oscar, God bless you. You speak the truth, and I admire you. Thank you so much, Yuri Roth. And the beautiful thing about it, you know, before I remove your comment, the beautiful thing about it is that Hispanics, they understand now what the Democrats and the leftists and the communists have done to us. What they have done is horrible. And I will explain to you what they have done. And what they have done is what this guy is saying right here. No importa que tanto quieras gustarle a los racistas. This is what they have done. This is the same guy that has been criticizing me for a couple of days. That they think that I'm trying to pander to Americans. I don't pander. I'm pairing. I have my audience. So you think you understand that. But look what they have done. And look what they're doing. The Democrats, what they're doing right now, and the liberals, the progressive, not even the Democrats, the progressive mercenary activist liberals are using us for their political gain in votes, for their political trash. Jerry Nadler, a leftist Democrat, said the other day, we need illegal immigrants to pick up our lettuces because they're going to rot in the field. This is the Democrat. The mayor of New York said that we have great swimmers so they can become lifeguards in New York. Why? Because they swim across the Rio Grande River. Nancy Pelosi said that we need illegal immigrants to pick crops in Florida. This is the only way that they think about us. This is the way that they think about us. No. We have so much potential and talent to be architects, doctors, lawyers, engineers, congressmen, senators, leaders of the world. We are the hard economy of the United States of America. We are the hard labor of the United States of America. The Hispanic vote, it is one of the most important votes in the United States of America. And all the promises of the left and the Democrats have completely put us on a plantation to believe them that possibly we are going to agree freedom. What happened to DACA? Have they gave them their paperwork? Have they become U.S. citizens? Are they U.S. citizens to all these leftists? What happened to the 11 million undocumented individuals that Joe Biden was going to document? Tell me about it. Count it. Dime, ¿qué pasó con ellos? ¿Qué les pasó? ¿Se los documentó ya? They helped them? Oh, yes, they're great, right? They're great. They're absolutely great. Who was the president that deported more Mexicans in history of the United States of America? Was he a Republican? Do you know who he was? Obama. Barack Obama, a leftist Democrat. Under what administrations, how many wars have happened? Which political party has had more wars under their belt? Which one? Tell me. Talk about it. How many jobs has Joe Biden constructed and how Joe Biden has built with undocumented individuals? How many? How many migrants have died under the Biden administration with these open border policies and the global compact of migration? It is the administration that more migrants have died in the limitations between Mexico and the United States of America. How many? How many legal immigrants have you celebrated, Joe Biden, that they have come in legally and worked on colleges and have become doctors, have become lawyers? How many you had celebrated? How many? How many Latinos have you gave them a job under your administration to become congressmen, to become senators? How many? How many farmers have you treated fairly so they're lower income? It is not a low income and they're not mistreated in the farms. How many? How many? That is the question. We are being used and abused for a political system. We are being used and abused for the next generation of a political party. And we are being pandered because they know that our people are coming of poverty, are coming in a country of insecurity, are coming because they need and they're so hungry to get to a better life. So they're letting them in, but I'm letting you in because, no. Nada de no mames, es la neta y te duele y te arde, atrasito. I'm letting you in under the exchange of what? What do you think it's going to happen in the next 10 years? Who do you think the majority of these people are going to vote? Háblame. Dímelo. Who do you think these people are going to vote? Where is the celebration for the legal immigrant that has worked his butt to get a resident card? Where is the celebration for the legal immigrant who has worked his butt to become a resident and then a United States citizen? Where is the celebration for them? They do not count. They're racist, huh? They're fascists and they're bootlickers of the white man. The white man. It is because of the white man. Do you know, to all these incompetent leftists, do you know how many Latinos and Hispanics serve under the army and the military? Do you know how many Hispanics serve under the Border Patrol? Do you know how many Hispanics serve under the U.S. Customs Service? Do you know how many Hispanics work in the ICE agency? Do you know how many Hispanics work in the FBI and the CIA? Do you know? No. We need to be farmers. We're good to work on construction. No, manténlos ahí. The plantation of the Democrats is maintain them on the social programs. Ahí tenlos. Maintain them right there. No. They're really good on constructing. They're really good on construction, on gardening. No, they're hard workers. Respect that. And then pander to them. Pander. Yes, we're going, and I'm not going to denigrate immigrants because I'm not going to denigrate them because they have their own right and they have this and they have that. Where is your solution? Is there an immigration reform solution? Is there a possibility that you can sit down and give a solution? Is there a possibility that you will sit down and not only be a solution, but create the solution for the future generations for them to understand how the immigration system works? Do you know about the global compact on migration? How many deaths has cost? How many the global compact on migration under The United Nations, how many migrants have been trafficked and how many migrants have died on the Darien Gap, Central and South America? I have traveled. You haven't. I know how many. I know how they're using us in the political system to disrupt borders and to destabilize borders. That's what you're using. You're using our people for that in exchange to let them into a country of opportunity and the American dream. All this fallacia, all these lies. We're not stupid. We know what you're doing. And you know the beautiful thing about it? You know what the beautiful thing about it, papi? ¿Sabes qué, papi? Lo más bonito de todo esto. The beautiful thing about it is that our arguments have a foundation now. Y bien bonito. That we are not paralyzed anymore. And we are more than you are less now. And we are waking up because we're seeing what you're doing. We're seeing what you're doing. And when you don't acknowledge that more Hispanics has woken up into what you're doing, the political parties, what they're doing, both political parties, not even the Democrats, Republicans also, both political parties, the system, how they're using us. When you wake up and understand, híjole. Unbelievable. Hispanic vote is the most important vote in the United States. And we're growing massively to understand that the enemy, it is the communists, the Marxists, the socialists. And whoever it is so incompetent to say that there's no communist ideologies or socialist ideologies in the United States of America, it is the same incompetent and they're trying to brainwash you to tell you everything is okay. Inflation in the United States of America, what the hell you're talking about? Insecurity in the United States of America, everything is good. Drugs in the United States of America, pouring, we have the best security system. Well, as a matter of fact, immigration has lowered down, according to Alejandro Mayorkas. No, everything is okay. It's the same incompetent that is trying to tell you everything is okay. It's the same incompetent that are trying to brainwash you that no, it is the extremist. It is the white supremacist. It is the racist. It is the fascist. It's the narcissist. The same one that uses this language. It's the same one. The same one. That if you are not part of them, you're a traitor to your own people. You're a traitor to your own country. You're a traitor. You're a traitor. And immediately, when they have no arguments, they will insult. They will talk. They will attack. Great strategy. How's everybody doing? Oscar Blue, live from over here. AMLO, el socialista. I don't have nothing against AMLO. Nothing is saying against AMLO. You know, he has done good things and he has done bad things. And he's a populist. He has such a great speech to win people. Talks slowly for people to understand, has created a language for people to adapt. And he has done a couple of things that are good. I'm not even going to lie. He has increased the lower income, less poverty. But the insecurity issue, you're not going to lie about that. It is a reality. And that's the biggest problem that we have, the cartel. More than 160,000 homicides occurred under his 4 years. And we are not going to stop justifying that it's because of the past administrations, that it's because of their own governments, blaming and justifying his complete capability of controlling that with his ideology of all hugs, no bullets. Papi, no hay justificación para su incompetencia. Así de fácil. Le quedó grande el saco para combatir el crimen organizado. Bien fácil. Bien palada. Así de fácil. No hay argumentos. Mejor calladito te ves más bonito. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. An hour of broadcast. Has been great talking to you guys. Under this broadcast, it is 9:39 in the evening over here in our country of Mexico, 30th of May, 9:40. It's Central Time over here. City of Mexico. I'm in the city of Mexico. Tomorrow we have a long, long day. And you know, somebody's asking a question. Oscar, do you know that they did away with the retirement program in the Navy? They went to a 401k. I didn't know that. It's nice to talk to you guys. I'm just going to do an hour. I wish that I can go longer and talk to you guys longer and longer and longer, but I can't. I have a lot of things to do right now. I got to get ready for tomorrow. Again, buy me a coffee is right there, pin in the chat for people to try to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund. Greatly appreciated. And extremely appreciate your support. God bless you. Thank you so much. I'm Team Jesus. I don't know what team you're on. For a lot of the communists and the Marxists and the socialists, a lot of them, they don't believe in Jesus. But I'm Team Jesus. I'm not a commie. I'm not a socialist. As a matter of fact, I completely grotesquely detest the communist system because I have seen what has happened in Venezuela, and I have seen Cubans also walk through the most dangerous trench that is the Darien Gap and put their lives in danger because they're escaping of a dictator, and they're escaping of a communist system. Simple as that. God bless you. Stay safe. Follow me on all pages. X as Oscar Blue Ramirez. Instagram is Oscar El Blue Ramirez. Getter. I don't usually promote Getter. Oscar Blue Ramirez. Oscar El Blue on Facebook. Oscar El Blue Ramirez on YouTube. I think so. And follow all my pages. Real America's Voice. Follow Real America's Voice News. Also follow Bose Media. Follow all their broadcasts. And Epoch Times. Follow also Epoch. That we have, we are working with Epoch also now. So follow Epoch Times. If you guys want to consider following, subscribe to Epoch. They just released a beautiful documentary that I was part of it with Josh J. Phillips. This documentary is called Weapons of Mass Migration. I think that is the best documentary explaining what actually is the cost of how this mass migration, how they are utilizing the United Nations with the Global Compact on Migration, how they're utilizing our people to destabilize borders. That's what they're doing. And in exchange to pander that they're giving us a better opportunity of life. But the exchange is just your life. You can lose your life. So it's unbelievable. God bless you. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. Has been a pleasure talking to you guys. Have a blessed night.